Hello everyone. I want to welcome you to the week 5 of our design fellowship training here at Hacksat Tech Company. And you've come a long way where I believe by now each and every one of you know how to design a flyer, a professional flyer, and then you know how to navigate very well in CorelDRAW. So in today's week, we are going to learn about logo design plus branding, how you can be able to create a logo. So this class is going to be a very simple and it's going to be a wonderful class where what I want you guys to do is to sketch and design. Sketch and design. So this is what we are going to do all through this class at the end of this training. So these are the topics we are going to cover. Number one, we are going to talk about logo type, watermark, icon, combination. This is what we are going to talk about. And then we are going to talk about brand identity basics. What are the basics when we talk about brand identity? And the third thing we are going to talk about is the mood board. How you can be able to use a mood board. Like, what is a mood board? So you get to understand what it is at the end of this class. So what is logo? Logo type. I know you've been hearing many companies, many organizations, they will tell you, okay, this is my logo, this what identify us, and this is who we are. So a logo is the visual symbol that represents a brand identity. It is the first thing people recognize about a business. Now, if I'm asking you about other businesses, like if I ask you business like Coca-Cola, immediately you see the logo, you can be able to recognize, oh, this is a Coca-Cola company. So likewise, other companies, whenever you see their logo, immediately you can be able to recognize that this is Gucci and this is LV. So each and every company has its logo, including Hacksat. If you see a company that deals with education, training, individuals, organization, and whenever you see that logo, what comes to your mind is Hacksat. So logo gives a brand identity. So why logo matters? Why is logo very, very important? Why does it matter for your organization, for you being a creative, to have a logo? Number one, it builds brand identity. Whenever you are designing a logo, you are designing it with that mindset that you are building a brand identity, and then creates trust. Any organization that does not have a logo, many people find it very hard to trust such an organization. So if you have a logo on your organization, it builds trust, and then it makes business memorable. With the help of logo, your business, your company, your organization becomes memorable. So a logo is very, very important, and then it helps customers recognize a brand instantly. With a good logo, instantly a customer can be able to recognize, this is the brand I use, this is what I want. So imagine now your company, organization don't have a logo. Even if you have a company, it will be very hard for them to differentiate, or it will be very hard for them to identify that this is the brand they use. So you should get a logo. It's very, very important, and it do matters a lot. So now we are going to talk about the type of logos we have, and I'm going to explain 3 types of logos, and it will be an assignment for you to make more research on other type of logos that we might possibly have. Number 1 is the watermark logo. A logo made using the brand name in a styled font. So there is a watermark logo where if you see Coca-Cola, you can see it's the name of the company, it's the name of the organization, but it's the logo whereby it's been created in a style font. So this is what we call the word map logo. The features here is that it focuses on typography, simple and clean, and then it's easy to remember. And another type of logo we have is the icon logo. A logo made using a symbol or icon only, just like Apple. How many of you are using Apple? Okay. What about Twitter, the former Twitter logo we have before X? So it's a icon logo where it's just a symbol. Apple, they use Apple as a symbol. Twitter, they use a bird that used to tweet as a symbol. So it does not need any text. It has a strong visual identity, and then it works well for apps and brands. This is why we use an icon logo. And then we have the combination logo, a mix of text plus icon together. So whenever you want your organization, you want your logo to be a mixture of text and then an icon, you can be able to use a combination logo, just like the Hacksat logo. The Hacksat logo is the combination logo where we have a mix of text and then an icon being placed together. Another example is the Adidas and also the Burger King. It's been mixed with a text and then an icon. Go and make more research on icon logo, combination logo, and watermark logo. So a great logo is simple, memorable, and scalable. This is the key insight I want you to have as a designer, as a creative. If you are designing a great logo, make sure it's simple, memorable, and scalable. And number 2, we are going to talk about brand identity basics. What is brand identity? When we talk about brand identity, is the complete visual personality of a brand. The complete visual personality of a brand is what we call a brand identity. It includes logo, colors, fonts, design style, and messaging. So each and every brand have their own logo, they have their own colors, they have their own fonts, they have their own design styles, and then they have their own messaging. So the purpose of brand identity is that it creates consistency. When you have a brand identity, that brand creates consistency, and then it builds trust. It makes brand recognizable, and then it differentiates from competitors. You can be able to differentiate your own brand and a competitor's brand with a brand identity. So the next thing we are going to talk about is the brand element. Number 1, we have colors, font, logo, style. The colors represent emotion and personality. Just like earlier, we talked about colors, they evoke emotion. Example, blue builds trust and red energy. And then the second one is fonts. Fonts defines tone of communication: modern, formal, creative, bold. So if you are using a font, it's a tone of communication that each and every brand has. And then we have the logo. The core symbol of the brand must be simple and scalable. That's the logo. And the fourth one is the style: clean, bold, luxury, playful, and a lot more. So these are the 4 elements of brand. We have colors, font, logo, and style. So a key idea is that a brand is not just a logo, it is a full experience. A brand is not just about you having a logo. No, it is a full experience that you are giving to your clients, you are giving to your customers. The third one we are going to talk about is the mood board. What is a mood board? When we talk about a mood board, it's a collection of visual inspiration used to define the style of a brand or design project. So if you are designing for a brand, that is what we use, which is called the mood board, which help guide design direction. Whenever you have a mood board, it helps guide your design direction, and then it prevents confusion in branding. And then it ensures consistency before designing. That is why mood board is very, very important. You can try that. Try building a mood board, and then if you are designing, you see it gives you guide, and then it prevents confusion. Okay, which one will I use? So it prevents this confusion, and then it ensures consistency before starting your design. That is why mood board is very, very important. So what goes into your mood board? What do you put into your mood board? Number 1, colors. Number 2, fonts. Number 3, images. 4, patterns. 5, logo inspirations. And 6, style reference. These are the 6 things that goes into your mood board. Example usage. Before designing a logo, you should collect inspiration. Yes, before you design a logo of any organization, any company, any business, first of all, you should collect inspiration. What's the inspiration behind this company? What's the inspiration behind this business, this organization? And then you should choose a style direction. Decide color palette. Which color are you going to use? Being given the inspiration, which color will you use that will move in line with the inspiration? And then start designing. So a tip here is that you should design without a mood board. It's like building without a plan. Yeah. So imagine now a builder is building a house, and then he starts building without a building plan. At the end of the day, you are going to have not a good structure. But if you have a very well plan on ground, you can be able to have a very good structure. So as a designer, you need what we call the mood board, because of that is where your design project will be built with so much intensity, so much professionalism in your design. So get a mood board. Know how you can be able to create a mood board. So do you have any other question before we continue? Yeah, okay. So you can be able to drop your questions so that at the end of the class we can be able to go through the question and we can be able to answer them one after the other. So now the CorelDRAW logo skills. Using CorelDRAW, students will learn Bezier tool, that is the pen tool. It creates custom shapes, draws smooth curves. So if you are designing a logo in CorelDRAW, know how to use this Bezier tool, because of it's used to create a custom shape, and you can be able to create a very smooth curve whenever you want to design a logo. And then we have the shape building. Combine shapes, create symbols and icons. And the third one we have is the styling logo. Apply color, add effects, adjust proportions. So these are what you are going to learn while using CorelDRAW to create a logo. So now we have a practical task this week again, where I always say that practice makes perfect. So at the end of this class, you are going to practice how you can be able to create a logo. So if you just go through the class without practicing, at the end of the day, you are still in the initial stage where you haven't made a step. So the practice is the action. So take an action and practice. So what you are going to do is you are going to design one logo using CorelDRAW, watermark or icon or combination, any of the type of logo you want. If you want to design a watermark logo, do that. If you want to design an icon logo, do that. If you want to design a combination logo, anyone. But preferably, I challenge you to design all three: the watermark, the icon, and then the combination logo. And then the task 2 here is that you should create a brand identity mini kit. A brand identity mini kit, which you should include the logo, 2 to 3 colors, 2 fonts, and then a style direction. This is the practical task that each and every one of you is going to do. So in today's class summary, I believe and I hope each and every one of you has learn about the types of logos we have: the watermark logo, the icon logo, and the combination logo. And then you learn how branding works, what makes a strong identity, and then how Moodboard guides design. Don't forget, we said if you have a mood board, that's where you have a plan on how you can be able to structure a wonderful design. And then the basic logo creation in CorelDRAW, and how to think like a brand designer. So this is the summary of what we talk about in today's class. So this is the end of our today's class, and I hope you really enjoy it. And don't forget the part that I said, that action makes perfect. You should practice, and practice. So thank you, and see you in our next week class. Bye.